All right, everybody. Cage Titans special edition with Mike Polvere, who is running around the airport. Logan right now, ready to board a plane to go see Jay Savage Perrin fight tomorrow night at Contender Series. Mike, I know you got a couple of minutes, but you can't do Cage Table Titans tonight, so you want to announce some matchups and shit today on my show. So let's go, Mike.
All right, I got our plane leaves at 8:10, so I got a couple minutes, but you kind of put us out there because we intended on dropping some beans tonight that you got the jump on, and you put a post up earlier this afternoon saying we're doing Table Titans. So I felt so guilty that we weren't going to do it, and I wanted you to be able to get this exclusive and be able to announce it to the fans.
Hey,
I'm excited to go ahead.
I planned it all, Mike. I planned that whole thing.
Oh, you planned this? Oh, you little bean stirrer. But anyways, the big announcement for tonight, obviously we have August 24th, Cage Titans, Plymouth Memorial Hall. We've been planning Combat Night 2. Muay Thai show back in July was a huge success. The Muay Thai community welcomed Cage Titans with open arms. So I'm excited to announce that on September 7th is our second Combat Night card. And it was such a huge success, we outgrew pins that we're going to pull at Plymouth Memorial Hall. So you heard that right, back-to-back, 2 shows within 2 weeks at Memorial Hall. We couldn't be more excited.
Excellent. Now we're going with more MMA. We're gonna we ended up with no MMA fights on the last combat night. Now you have what, 7 to 9 MMA fights on that card?
So right now, I mean, when we were booking August 24th, there were so many fighters that wanted to fight. I ended up having a card that was full of 30 MMA fights. So as of right now, we have 9 MMA fights booked for September 7th at Plymouth Memorial Hall for Combat Night. And we already have a handful of Muay Thai fights. I'll give you a few right now. I'm excited to say that the return of the bearded dragon, Chris O'Brien, is going to be making his return to the cage on September 7th at Combat Night. He's taking on Muhammad Al-Kiani out of Evolution Athletics up in Maine. This fight could headline any one of our cards. I mean, this is a 4-1 former champion, Chris O'Brien, making his return back to the cage to take on no easy task in 6-1 Mohammed Al-Kayani out of Evolution Athletics. Awesome fight. I couldn't be more excited for this.
Not only is Chris fighting again, he's doing a little matchmaking also. He got the Shane Doherty and the Miguel Cuevas kind of thing rolling online. And I guess he's jealous. He didn't want to be left out of the party, so he's coming back to fight. And on September 7th, love it.
Exactly. I mean, he's been, he's never, though he hasn't been in the cage for a little while, he's never been far from Cage Titans. We've seen him cage side all along. He's always in my inbox. We're always talking, chatting about new fights, and he was the one that kind of came up with, he's put up like a wish list of MMA fights in the amateur ranks, and he put up the Cam Arnold versus Jeff Joy, or Cam Arnold versus anybody at the time. He wrote Arthur Mapozu, I believe, because this was prior to Jeff beating him for the title. He put up Shane Doherty versus Miguel Cuevas. So he's been doing his job of matchmaking and unofficially matchmaking. But, time is now. I mentioned, actually, I got to give credit to Chris. I mentioned how Muhammad's name popped up and, just kind of in passing. And he's like, dude, I would love that fight. I was like, you haven't fought in a year. Like, what are you talking about? He goes, that's the type of fight that gets my blood going. He goes, that's the type of fight I want to challenge. If you remember when he was the champion, he scoured the rankings and found Matt Viena. And he came to me, said, I want to fight this guy and defend my title against him. That's the type of guy Chris is. So when he heard this kid's name, he's like, you don't have to look any further. He goes, I'll take the fight. So, man, I'm pumped up for that fight. Another exciting matchup on the Muay Thai side, Ashley Barrett fighting out of US MMA. She's a 1-0 amateur MMA fighter. She's taking on Adina Baudry, who you may know, Keegan Hornster's girlfriend.
MMA, yes, pretty good.
But they're actually gonna fight in Muay Thai.
That's awesome.
On this card.
That's excellent. I know Barrett trains with Doherty and Hillary Rose, correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
Exactly. So
Excellent.
USMA person, they bring their fighters. They're always well prepared. So that's an exciting fight. Another big amateur MMA fight for us. Jake Bagley is coming back to Cage Titans. He wants to get a shot at that title, and he's looking to get right back in title contention. He's taking on Ibrahim Aziz. Ibrahim, he's no stranger to the Cage Titans cage. That's a great fight at the 125.
Mike, they're both coming off losses, and they both, are rising amateur fighters here. That's a great matchup right there, bro.
And you know who's standing there waiting for them is David Zarao.
Oh
He
yeah,
came
yeah,
in,
yeah.
Spider Monkey came in.
he's
David's waiting for that title. He's waiting
is.
for a name. So
He is.
the name's coming from this fight.
He's glowing. His ears are ringing right now, unless he's watching right now. But yeah, David, I've been talking to online, and he's like, he deserves to be on the top of the heap there after what he's been doing the last 3 fights.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So this card, I actually got a board because they're looking at me, and it takes off at 8:10. But those are a couple fights to give you a little insight on what this card's going to look like. Billy Goff's going to be returning to Cage Titans this event. Trevor Goody's fighting on this card. And we have a whole other slew of fighters, MMA. Actually, another exciting fight is it's not one fight, it's actually 2. What's better than one Leighton? It's 2 Leightons. So the Leighton twins are going to be fighting on September 7th. Identical twins fighting on the same card. It's a great storyline. And if you know Brett and how well he's been fighting, I'm excited to see his brother Brandon and see what he has to bring to the table.
Excellent. Oh, that's amazing, man. Is that the first time twins will ever fight on the same card? Not only in New England, anywhere?
It could be. So, yeah, that's another exciting fight for us. 2 fights. So we're gonna have all the normals, the Triforce, Lozon guys, South Shore Sport Fighting guys. Sid Yatong. We have a couple girl fights. I mentioned Adina versus Ashley Barrett. Moy Seppo from Citadel is taking on Allison Blackwell from Triforce. That's another female fight. So, all right, they're calling us. We got to go.
All right, my man.
September 7th, Memorial Hall. September 7th, Memorial Hall. Combat Night 2 is going to be an amazing night. And also, we're going to be holding the grappling tournament that morning at Memorial Hall. So definitely come and be a part of it.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, you heard it here first. Mike's got to go. He's going to be broadcasting more stuff, more announcements. He's on his way to go see Jay Savage Perrin at the
Perrin. Let's go, Jay Perrin.
Let's go. So I'm gonna let you go, Mike, and we're gonna talk a couple of minutes about Jay Perrin while you're getting on your plane, and we'll see you on the other side tomorrow night, bro.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good luck out there.
Thank you for letting us. Bye.
All right, bye.
I'm gonna go.
So Mike Polvere jumps on, gives a few matchups right there. I didn't write him down, but this is a short show. You can go back and backtrack. But he named a lot of fights happening on the Combat Night 2 on September 7th. A mix of Muay Thai fights, MMA fights. But you heard it first here. Chris O'Brien is back in the cage September 7th. Big fights happening that night. Look back on this feed here and listen to who Mike announced and all that. Last thing, I just want to throw my buddy's picture up here. Jay Savage Perry, man, you gotta watch him tomorrow on where are we? On ESPN Plus. Is that where it is, or is it still on Fight Pass? I think it's on Fight Pass, but I think it's on ESPN Plus now. I have no idea. Find out. Jay Perrin, he made an announcement today before after his weigh-ins. He doesn't want to talk to anyone. He's doing his thing. He's enjoying himself today, getting his weight back on. He's getting in fight mode. Look back on his posts. He said, just look back. He's got all the information there. He weighed in 136. He's ready to go. And there's predictions out there. He's going to finish this guy in the first round. But these are New England guys messaging me on Messenger going, Jay's going to finish this guy in the first round. Let's not jinx it. Let's just let Jay have a finish in any round. He finishes this guy, he's going to the UFC. So big shout out to Jay Savage Perrin. Watch him. Please watch him. And like I said, we ran around. Mike just, like he said, I said they were going to have a podcast tonight. I thought they were, but I forgot Mike would be flying to Vegas to see Jay. So Mike was very nice to call in here, give us 15 minutes because he knows you people were dying for some beans. And we gave you a few. We can't give you them all, but good enough. And that's great. So we'll be seeing you down the line. Good luck tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Jay Savage Perrin is the first fight, 8 o'clock. Tune in. Don't miss it. It's our New England MMA future going to the UFC here. Savage Perrin to the UFC. With that said, that was it. Short, sweet. We out.